I'm James Shillinglaw with Insider Travel Report, and I'm here today with Joshua Harrell, who is the Chief Revenue Officer for World Via Travel. But in this case, we're talking to him because he's now the author of a new book called Travel Marketeering. And we'll give a little plug here. This is the book. And it is a sort of soup to nuts and everything about travel marketing and really running your business and discovering what kind of business you should run. And I thought it'd be a good idea. There's, I think, demand in the market for this right now. In fact, I was telling Joshua that right before I started reading the book, I got somebody who asked me if there was something like this in the market. So we're going to talk to Joshua about the book, why he decided to write it, and go sort of through the book a little bit about some of the points he makes. And you're going to find out about all that and more on Insider Travel Report. Now, Joshua, first of all, great to meet you. Great to see you. You tell me you saw
Yeah.
me at a distance in Jamaica, but I was busy in my computer, which always happens.
I, I saw you deep in thought, and I just said, "Hey, James." Just
And
yeah.
I'll tell you next time you see me, just go shake me a bit, and I'll get out of my stupor. So, but anyway, let's get to the real the nut of this. What led you to write this book at this time? Where did you see the need in the market?
Well, I have been in sales and marketing for decades, and I got my start in theme parks, and then moved into the cosmetic industry. I know those two don't necessarily
Yeah,
connect.
it's just a natural fit. I don't know.
Yeah. And then I had this random opportunity to interview for a travel agency. And I'd never even thought about being in this industry. But I enjoyed the person who interviewed me, who was our CEO, Jason Block.
Of course.
And he was so, actually, he didn't want to hire me. So
Mhm.
I had to approach it with a, "You're gonna love me" attitude. And anyway, we started working together. And I was so fascinated because we get to work with thousands of independent agency owners and advisors. And everybody's at a different stage in their journey, whether they're just getting started or they've been doing it for donkey's years. And every interaction I would have, there was this through line that they needed to be better at their marketing. That was not my assessment, that was their self-assessment. And for years now, somebody will come to me and say, "Oh, my marketing is terrible," or I'm not good at sales. I'm not this, that, and the other. What should I do? I feel like what I want to sell is this, but what I'm really good at is this." All these things swirling around. And I felt like I was saying the same things over and over again.
Right.
And if I could do that, then let me write the book on it and give people confidence that they actually should, in most cases, they need to follow their gut instinct.
Yeah.
And this book, our entire team who's helped with this, has really been focused on giving that confidence and giving a little bit of the guardrails. Like, follow this path, and then you'll have the confidence and you'll be able to keep on enhancing and evolving, because ultimately everyone is going to evolve and know more tomorrow than they know today, and make better informed decisions in the future. So,
Well, actually, I'd love if you could go to someone who's asking you these questions and say, "Okay, here, read this," you know,
yeah.
and then, oh, by the way, give me the money for it too. By the way, that's it. That sounds
Yeah,
like.
don't think I won't. I'll be like, "Yeah, I've got that answer for you."
It's only what's the price of the book? I didn't look, but
I don't keep it in front of mine.
I don't figure for mine. But you didn't do this out of the price, but it is a great work. Now, what prepared you in your career, both in theme parks and in the beauty industry, whatever, and now in travel?
Well, you know what? I would say the theme park was more of uh, you get mass exposure to people and personalities. You know what I mean? And you're creating moments in theme parks. So that really translated well into working in cosmetics. I worked for a brand that was not very well known at the time, and it was the way they approached running their stores. I ran one of their stores in Atlanta. Was to really give them. It was the first time I'd ever worked with a P&L. That was a whole other thing. Before, I would just work on sales goals and did you make the goal? Did you not make the goal? Working with a P&L, you're looking at the whole picture of a business. Now, the great thing about it when you're working for a company is they're they're ultimately in control.
Mhm.
So I'm not going to lose my business because, I made a mistake. So I was able to really hone my skills for business building
Got it.
within that company. And then we ended up going on QVC with our makeup line. And for 20 years, I got to sell makeup in addition to running the retail division of the company. I got to sell makeup on QVC.
Mhm.
And that was a trial by fire in terms of not only did I have to sell my product, I had to find a compelling story for that product, for our brand, as well as for myself when I was presenting on air. I also assisted the CEO at the time because she would go on air. But we were constantly, for every show, we were saying, okay, that didn't work. How do we change this? So applying all sales and marketing principles to that type of business, then when I come over to travel, you get to sell the world.
Yeah, right.
You get to sell people's expertise. It's the same thing. I mean, all of these marketing, good marketing is being very aware and being very objective. And what I wanted to do, I during in between working with Bare Minerals, the cosmetic line, and then coming to World Via, I was a serial entrepreneur.
Hmm.
And during that time, I tried everything that I ever wanted to have a business for. And I failed at every single one of them
Right.
because I was not objective and I was not applying some of those principles that I had practiced for so many years. I was following this dream. I wanted to create a company, but I wasn't thinking about making a healthy business
Hmm.
or discovering what worked and what didn't and tweaking that. So, working with thousands of agency owners and advisors, I started to see that self, my entrepreneur self, who was not good at being objective. And as an entrepreneur, you are not only the marketer, you're the salesperson, you're the
Yeah.
operations person, you're the accounting, and you're the big boss in most situations. So you can't just be a marketer. I mean, wouldn't
Yeah.
that be great? You could just say, you know what, just make newsletters and do the social thing, right? No, you can't. So travel marketeering is all about creating systems that you can launch, and then you can come back and tweak the thing that didn't work or turn the volume up on the thing that did
Hmm.
work. And then you can go about selling your destination wedding or your multi-gen trip to Disney World. You know what I mean? It's you don't have to have that stress of it hanging over you. And then when it's time to go assess what worked and what didn't, then you go over and you do your tweaking. So that's really all of that experience and also that self-realization that I was a really bad entrepreneur.
Hmm.
But I think I fell victim to just human nature. I wanted to do the thing. I wanted to give birth to these brands that I created, but I made some mistakes. And I always tell the advisors I get to meet, I'm like, please learn from my mistakes.
Yeah.
I always have an opinion, but I'm gonna tell you, I want you to be successful. And some of the things I see you are doing are the things that got me sidetracked. I want you to succeed because if
No,
you want to, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
no, exactly. And I think this is the thing is that because as you read this book, it's more than just a book on travel marketing. It's really kind of soup to nuts guide of how to start and successfully run a business or a travel business in this case. Would you agree with that statement that this is really it's how to run a business and also market travel?
And I definitely agree with you. And that was on purpose because in every situation I've been in, marketing is everything from even how you hire team members, how you promote those roles. That's an expression of your employer brand. And through the book, we're not only talking about following your dreams and figuring out how to craft your brand expression and execute the tactics to help you generate leads or foster repeat business. But it's also about, okay, at what point do you need an assistant? What are
Right.
the things that they could do? How do you scale up from a team perspective? Because all of that does connect to how you're going to deliver your service. And that's ultimately, as a chief revenue officer, I'm in charge of sales, marketing, and service delivery.
Sure.
That's the whole picture. So very much like entrepreneurs, it's all the elements that make up the brand.
No, absolutely. Now, why do you think that why aren't travel advisors more well versed in good business practices in a way that could help them run their businesses more successfully?
I'm going to just give you my honest opinion here.
Okay.
It's I, most everyone who joins the travel industry has a passion for travel,
Right.
and that learning how to sell travel and learning the nuances of selling travel in a way that it's profitable and feeding your business, that's a lot of work in and of itself.
Yeah.
Understand your supplier partners and who you're trying to attract. That often the business of the business is on the back burner. Like
Sure.
I think the mindset is let me figure out how to sell travel. So that's the thing we focus on. So I think I do believe that most advisors, agency owners are aware of good business practices, but it almost overshadows what they're passionate about. So I think they compartmentalize it a little bit. So what I try to do when I'm working with anyone is say, follow your instincts, but you ultimately have to have a healthy business, or you're not going to be able to follow your
Yeah.
dreams and create the dream experiences. And also, I think it's scary, right? To you have to make this business a success, or you have to work with your book of business if you're a part of an agency to be a success. And sometimes we don't want to know our numbers. We don't want to. Like that's the that it's
Oh,
if I
I
don't.
never want to know my numbers. I'm always here. Joshua, congratulations again. This is it. Travel marketeering. Go get it in your Amazon store, and you can get Joshua at World Via is there, and you know if you want to talk to him some more. And I know you go to a few agency conferences as well, so you can also buttonhole him at any of these events and talk to him about this. But first, get the book, read it, and I think you'll benefit from it. Again, Joshua, thank you for taking the time to talk about the book, and good luck in the future. I think you guys are doing great at World Via. You're obviously using some of your practices, and I think a lot of other people can do that too. And again, thanks for taking the time today.
Thank you, James. I appreciate it.
I'm James Shillinglaw, and this is Insider Travel Report.